However, Brandy Weaver had some things that she wanted to share with us that uh, is very relevant for Dump the Corruption. So I'm going to give the mic over to Brandy Weaver to start us off.
Thank you, Joe.
You're
I was
welcome, Brandy.
looking today at some of the previous elections over the past 30, 40 years. And I'm going to kind of start here at 1984, and there's a reason why. So this shows the presidential election in 1984. I was 3 years old. Um, Reagan won. The majority of the entire country was red. Now, for the Senate elections that year, the Democrats gained some states. Republicans only gained one. They held on to the lighter red, and the lighter blue was Democrat hold. So that means no seats changed. And this is showing the House of Representatives. Again, look at how much of Texas is blue. Look at how much of Oklahoma was blue, a Democrat hold. Arkansas was primarily Democratic hold, and they gained a seat there, whereas Republicans lost a seat in that little dark blue splotch. You can look at Georgia, Florida, all of it. And so, and this is the way the governor elections went. 1984 stayed Democrat hold in Arkansas. And now we're a red state. And I want to kind of get into why, but skip over to 1992, which was about 8 years later. I was 11 years old. Dale Bumpers beat Mike Huckabee for our state senate. All of this here in the bluish purple is where he won as a Democrat in these seats.
Oh yeah, I remember Dale Bumpers. He was a pretty good senator.
And then over here was the 1992 presidential election where Bill Clinton won against George Bush Sr. This is all the counties that Clinton won in blue.
Yes, of course, he was the former governor, of Arkansas.
Of Arkansas, yep. And even with what we knew then about him, he still won. So this is the Arkansas trifecta for House, Senate, and Governor for the state. You can see from 1992 to 96, we held the majority. And it really was not that much different than California.
Oh, interesting. When you compare California, you mean
to Arkansas.
To Arkansas in 1992.
From 1992 to about 2013, we were fairly not much different than California. And now you've got Democrat supermajority, you've got Republican supermajority. We've split off. And so right here, who was president 2012 to 2013?
Oh, we know it was Obama, of course.
Yeah. So, but the reason why I picked 1992, there's a reason behind that I started. I did choose the one to go back to 84 to kind of show that had been a continuous, that Democrats had some power in our state. 1993 was the year that my mother died from work exposure to radiation from working in a chicken plant, poultry plant. And so Democrats had power. The right to work laws in our state started in the 1940s. So people who think that just electing a Democrat will change things and make things better for workers and working class people, 33 years old and acute myeloid leukemia in a 33-year-old is extremely rare. Leukemia is common in children and elderly, not at that age. So, and the doctor said that they believed that it was that exposure. One of the rooms that while she was training to be a supervisor, that she had to go into to turn the lines on and off, had a warning radiation sign on the door, and they said that they were almost positive that that's what caused her cancer.
Oh, God.
So even though they had all that power for all that time, they didn't do anything to turn over the right to work laws. They didn't do anything to empower workers in our state, even when he was governor, nor when he was president. And that's the reason why we're stuck with a Republican stronghold, is because we are a red state, because the majority of the working class in Arkansas doesn't vote at all. The majority of only like 50% of eligible voters in Arkansas voted in 2020. And in 2022, that went down to 45%.
To 35%?
45% of eligible voters in our state voted. And Democrats couldn't get over a 40% on candidates that they ran. That this is why Democrats don't win in Arkansas, because they're not appealing to the working class voters to get them to show up and vote.
They're still working off the Bill Clinton type of playbook, probably.
Yep, they are, and they don't listen.
And it no longer works in Arkansas.
And it's the Clinton and Biden.
Yeah, the Clinton-Biden playbook.
Yep.
Clinton, Biden, Jim Coburn, Clyburn.
And so,
and also James Carville.
Yeah, James Carville is right.
And so, you know, imagine having to miss a day's pay to show up and vote for candidates that you know aren't going to do anything for you. That's why people don't vote. It's not because they're lazy. It's because they can't afford to miss a day worth of pay to show up and vote for a candidate they know that won't help them.
Yeah.
And that's why we're a red state. When people want to sit there and put down red states, we weren't always red.
Yeah.
We were very, very blue at one point.
Yes, I know.
Almost as blue as California was.
So was the state of Georgia, but
yeah.
And this goes along with what they call the political ratchet effect. The political ratchet effect is essentially Democrats blocking movement to the left, and then everything gets shifted to the right. And we see this every time the wind blows. There is a major political ratchet effect in this country where you see a whole host of Democrats blocking political movement to the left, then everything gets shifted to the right.
Yep, and that
It's
started
the political,
with
and it's disgusting how you see a party so corrupt, and this goes along with dumping the corruption.
Mhm.
Both parties are equally as corrupt.
Yeah,
One just is, it's just disgusting. And the only way we are really going to have to dump the corruption is, I don't know. It's going to take a large undertaking for us. It's going to take a large movement to get us over this political ratchet effect, to get any movement shifted to the left and do what the people want. The people want Medicare for all. The people want total student loan debt elimination, and so forth. And the only way we can do it is we've got to dump the corruption.
Yeah, we got to use the litmus test. The voters have to use the litmus test.
yeah.
And do not settle for less.
They have to vote against the people who take the big money. We have to persuade them that if they chase the big money out of politics, by chasing the people out of politics who are supported by the big money or who take the big money, we have to persuade them that then the politicians will turn to the voters and do what the voters want, because they won't have a choice. That's what we have to persuade them to do.
I saw those as very good visuals to show the history, because history and context matter.
They do.
They matter very much. And the reason why we've seen things change the way we have is because people got tired of neither party working for them. So a lot of people just quit showing up because the parties aren't showing up for us.
Yes, very true. And Greg's evoking of the ratchet effect,
Yeah.
okay, is very relevant here.
Yes, it
because
is.
that is the mechanism
Mm-hmm.
for driving the political system to the right, and for creating a situation where neither party does anything for the people. The people become very disenchanted. The people cease to vote. They essentially drop out of that part of the political system.
Yeah.
And when they do, then it means that the Republicans become dominant in those states.
Yeah. And that's what has happened in these red states. And it's not the people's fault. It's not. They want to sit there and blame people for not showing up to vote. Well, you didn't keep your promises.
Yeah,
You didn't even try.
You
So
don't
why
even
should-
try to keep your promises. In fact, you often just go against your promises.
Yep.
Obama
Did
saying
that. Biden.
ran strongly on codifying Roe v. Wade. As soon as he gets into the Oval Office, he says, "Oh, I'm sorry, that's not my first priority right now."
After he promised before the election that would be the first thing he would do if he got elected.
Absolutely. He absolutely broke that promise.